I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So a while ago, I did a Chaos Alliance versus Necron defense kind of deal. The Chaos Alliance actually managed to win the game, and I had said at the end of it that they had discovered a Tomb World entrance, and that they were going to start heading in. Well, I finally gathered up, made enough Tomb World interior-like terrain, so we're going to start this, campaign-like thing. Yeah, good times. So I watched some Warlock videos from a while ago, which gave me the idea for the packing crate terrain, the black and green and whatnot. And the rest is just bits I had laying around and probably incorporated into a later, as these guys progress further into the Tomb World itself. I keep saying the Tomb World, but the Necron structures and whatnot. So the Chaos Corrupt forces will be starting over here in this little entrance area. Their only goal is for one guy to make it through this gate. And the Necrons just gotta stop him from doing that. Alright, so here we have today's Chaos Reconnaissance Exploratory Scouting Force. The original battle had the Slaaneshi demons in it. They have since bugged out to go have weird fetish sex with other creatures, and the Iron Warriors have popped into their place. All of these guys have a die by them that designates what turn they'll be coming through that doorway over there. For the Death Guard, we have two groups of 10 Poxwalkers, and then a group of 7 Plague Marines. There's a Cleaver, the Flail, the Icon, a guy with an axe and a mace, Plague Launcher, and then the Aspiring Champion guy has a knife and a plasma pistol. The Thousand Suns donated 2 groups of 10 Zangors and 10 Rubric Marines. 4 with the Flamers, 4 with the Infernal Bolt Guns, 1 guy with a Soul Reaper Cannon, and then the Aspiring, I guess he's an Aspiring Sorcerer. Sorcerer Champion? I don't remember now. Either way, he knows Tzeentch's Firestorm. The Night Lords got 10 Cultists and 10 Chaos Space Marines. The champion has a Plasma Pistol and a Chain Axe. There's also a Heavy Bolter and a Flamer in the grouping. And then 2 individual Obliterators. For the Iron Warriors, we just have 10 Legionnaires, I guess is what they are. Aspiring Champion has a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol, and then there's 6 guys with Bolt Guns and 3 guys with Bolt Pistol Chainsword. Not quite sure why I didn't give these guys a special weapon, but oh well. So starting on the first turn will be the Cultists, a group of Zangors, and a group of Poxwalkers. And then coming in on the second turn will be the other Poxwalkers, Plague Marines, and the Night Lord Legionnaires. Third turn will be the other Zangors, the Rubrics, and the Iron Warriors. The Obliterators will be in a teleportarium kind of deal, but some sort of weird shielding prevents them from teleporting any further in than the entrance. So they don't have a specific turn they come in, just whenever it looks like they might be needed. So that'll be Chaos Forces for this game. Alright, so this will be the Canoptic Defense Force for today. We have 3 groups of 7 Scarabs and a group of 8 Scarabs. A Canoptic Spider with a Gloom Prism and a Fabricator Array. and then a Canoptic Doomstalker. So the 3 groups of 7 scarabs will start out on the board, and then on the second turn, the group of 8 and the spider will come in somewhere. And then on the third turn, the Doomstalker will appear in the middle of the board. So these will be all Necron defenders. Alright, I'm going to set up the board, and since I was going to say since I'm being nice, but since they're attacking and it's kind of basically a Necron defense, Chaos gets to go first. Alright, so we got the Poxwalkers in front of the doorway here with the Night Lord Cultists on one side and the Zangors on the other. For the Scarabs, we just have one behind each of these little terrain features. So, since the Cultists are attacking, the Scarabs are defending, we'll let Chaos go first. Turn 1 Chaos. Movement. Alright, so everybody advanced, some of them not very successfully, out of the doorway area. Zangors got pretty far up. The Cultists got a little far, and the Poxwalkers might as well have not even rolled. Unfortunately, nobody has a gun they can shoot after advancing, and they advance and nobody can charge. So that'll make it the Necron turn. Movement. Alright, so this group of Scarabs has moved up to threaten the Cultists. The ones behind this building have just moved up, wrapping around it. And the ones behind that one have also moved up to threaten the Zangors. Scarabs don't have guns, so the charge phase. So both of these units of Scarabs will charge into the Zangors. And these Scarabs will charge into the Cultists. Alright, everybody made their charges. These guys separated damage in Overwatch. These guys actually took 2 damage in Overwatch. They killed 5 of the Cultists, and the Cultists managed to kill one of the Scarabs and do a little bit more damage to another one. But these guys wiped out the Zangors. Okay, well, that'll take us on over to turn 2. And the Chaos guys again. Some more guys are going to show up to hopefully help them out a little bit. And we'll do some movement. So another group of Poxwalkers, the Plague Marines, and the Night Lord Legionnaires have made it through the entrance and into the antechamber here. The slow group of Poxwalkers have moved up to challenge the Scarabs. And these very brave cultists are going to stay in combat. Alright, Psyker hasn't made it out yet, so we'll do some chaos shooting. So the guys in here with their pistols actually managed to kill off 2 of these Scarabs. And then the Heavy Bolter and the Blight Launcher managed to kill off a Scarab in that back grouping. I'm actually impressed that the pistol guys killed off a Scarab. I mean, they had a plasma pistol to help, but still. So the charging phase. So these guys are definitely going to charge into the Scarabs. I guess these guys are going to try a really long charge into the Scarabs. We'll see how that goes. I'm not real confident about that, but the chaos dice are sometimes good. The cultists are going to continue their combat with these Scarabs. The close group of Poxwalkers definitely made it in. These guys rolled a 3 that got them nowhere at all. The poxwalkers that did make it in did a little bit of damage to the scarabs and then just got completely destroyed. A whole lot of death. A whole lot of it. The cultists managed to do a couple points of damage and then also got mutilated in return. That was a fun rolling experience. Well, with that being said, we'll go to Necron's turn 2. Movement and things. So all the wounded scarab units regained a health from the living metal. And then they all got really, really close. Well, closer in these guys' case, but really, really close in their case. To the chaos units over here in the antechamber entrance area. Then a group of 8 scarabs popped out of a pipe and ended up here. And we're going to assume that the spider floated down from somewhere and ended up here. It might be too far away for the spider, but I gotta check the distance on that for shooting. Alright, so the Night Lord Legionnaires were just in range of the spider's particle beamer. Managed to do 1 point of damage to the Legionnaires. So for charging, these 4 scarabs into the Night Lords there. The slightly damaged group of 7 into the Plague Marines. And then the undamaged grouping here into the Poxwalkers. This should be really fun. Alright, all of the scarabs made their charges. Suffered no damage in Overwatch. Killed off a couple of these Legionnaires and lost 2 scarabs for the fun of that. Did 1 damage to the Plague Marines. Lost a couple there. These guys at least killed off all the Poxwalkers. So that'll take us to turn 3 for Chaos. Probably the last of their units will be coming in. Maybe not the Obliterators, but we'll see. So 2 of these guys in combat and not wanting to fall back, it was kind of a stretch to get these other 3 units in here, but Zangars, the rubrics are kind of wrapped around the entryway here, and then the Iron Warriors in the back. Alright, well there is finally a Psyker on the field, so I gotta refine the thing for that. Alright, so Psyker phase, Ancient Firestorm, the Aspiring Sorcerer there. Closest unit within 18 would be this group of scarabs. Needed a 7, got it with a 10. Rolling 9d6, every 6 is a mortal wound. So 1 mortal wound onto those scarabs right there. That'll put them down to 3. And then we'll head into the shooting phase. Alright, so the Zangars here did a point of damage to these scarabs. The plasma pistol wielding Death Guard here supercharged his pistol and actually managed to do the 2 points of damage to the scarabs, which was super crazy that he didn't die. And then the bolt pistols from the Iron Warriors plus all the pistols from the Night Lords did a couple points of damage to the scarabs in front of them. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Charge phase. These Zangars are going to charge into these scarabs. And yeah, these Rubric Marines are going to charge into these scarabs. I'm trusting that these Night Lords can take care of those last 2 scarabs on their own. Alright, this is going to be a hell of a fight phase. That was super ridiculous. I mean, yeah, everybody made their charges, which was kind of weird for the rubrics anyway, since they had to go a weird way to get there. The Zangors killed a Scarab and then lost 7 Zangors. The rubrics didn't do anything and lost 3 of their own rubrics. And then regular fighting, the Night Lords killed off their 2 Scarab opponents. Plague Marines killed off 2 of theirs. So all in all, it wasn't terrible. I was expecting more from the Plague Marines this time, because they did so well last time, but it is what it is. So that'll take us over to Necron's turn 3, when the Doomstalker comes out. Movement. Alright, we didn't have any wounded Necrons this time, so nobody regained any wounds. The 2 Scarab groupings in combat, we're just going to leave them in combat. The Scarabs and the Spider that came in last turn have moved up towards the melee craziness that's about to be over here. And the Doomstalker popped in behind this little building thing here. Alright, so everybody but the Obliterators are out, so... News... Started to say no Psychers, but there's definitely no Psychers, so... We'll just do some good old-fashioned happy Necron shooting. Now, I normally love the crap out of Necron shooting, but I also normally have a lot more Necrons with guns than I do this time. So between the 2 of them, the Spider and the Doomstalker killed 1 of the Night Lord Legionaries, which is pretty terrible considering it only had 1 wound left. Oh well. Got the Spiders for charges and fun things like that. So this happy little group of 8 Scarabs here, I think I called them Spiders a second ago, apologies. So these 8 Scarabs are going to multi-charge into the Night Lords and the Rubrics, and then the other 2 already in combat groups of Scarabs. So this should be fun and happily exciting. Everybody made their charges, nobody died in Overwatch. These guys wiped out the remaining 3 Zangors pretty handily. So half of these guys went after the Night Lord Legionnaires and killed 1 of them. The other half went after the Rubric Marines and killed 3 of them. And then the smaller group of Scarabs actually killed a couple more of the Rubric Marines. But the Plague Marines and Rubric Marines just beat the snot out of them. Killed several. Night Lord Legionnaires killed 2 of these guys. It was super ridiculous. Yeah, so that'll take us to the Chaos turn. Turn 4. The movement. Alright, so pretty much all that happened was the Iron Warriors just moved over a little bit so that most of the Scarabs would be in range of their pistols. And the 2 Obliterators dropped in over here. Alright, so the Psyker phase. So the Aspiring Champion is going to try and manifest Tzeentch's Firestorm on the 2 Scarabs in front of him. Goes off on a 7. It really must be his day for that. That's the second time that's 10. 9d6. 6 is your mortal wounds. There's only 1 there, so... Scarabs go down to 3. And then we'll do a lot of pistol shooting. So the Night Lord Legionnaires and Iron Warrior Legionnaires, between the 2 of them, killed off a couple of Scarabs over here. The Aspiring Sorcerer and the Death Guard Aspiring Champion both supercharged their plasma pistols. Both didn't die. Both killed, well, they managed to kill a scarab between them. And then the Obliterators. So the 9th edition rules for Obliterators are so much better than the 8th edition rules. And they managed to kill 3 scarabs and wound another one a little bit. That was pretty dope. So the charge phase, the place is already pretty messy. So these Obliterators are going to charge into the scarabs in front of them. And then we'll just deal with regular combat for everybody else. I suspect there will be a lot less scarabs. Probably a lot less Rubric Marines too, but we'll see how it goes. The Obliterators definitely made their charge. They killed 2 of the scarabs. The Rubric Marines killed off one of the scarabs in front of them. The scarabs killed off the Rubric Marines. The Plague Marines killed off the remaining scarab in front of them. And then these guys killed off one of these scarabs. So a lot of scarabs died and cleared the way. But it is the Necron turn. I shouldn't be so sad, but I'm saying that because I am a happy Necron player 90% of the time, so... Yeah, Necrons. Movement. Sadly, the spider was too far away to reanimate any scarabs. It did move closer so that it both, so if they're still alive next turn, maybe it can bring a scarab back. The scarabs themselves are going to stay in combat. Doomstalker is unlikely to move. That'll take us into the shooting phase. Alright, well, the spider missed with all of its shots, which was terrible. The Doomstalker managed to kill off a single Plague Marine. No charging here, so just regular scarab combat. These scarabs here sure are tenacious. They managed to kill one of the Legionnaires. Then the Obliterators killed the scarab that was over bothering them. And the Legionnaires killed 2 scarabs for their particular return fight area. Things are starting to look kind of bleak for the Canoptic Defense Force for this particular room. That's okay, there's other rooms. It is Chaos's turn, so... Turn 5, I believe. So, movement. Alright, so the Obliterators, the Plague Marines, and the Iron Warriors have all moved up. The Night Lords Legionnaires are just going to hang out and continue bashing away at these scarabs. The Psyker got killed, so no more Psyker phase. So Chaos shooting instead. Alright, I think Chaos can see the end in sight here. The Plague Marines and the Iron Warriors did a whole lot of damage to Spider. They didn't kill it. But the 2 Obliterators did kill the Doomstalker. That was a hell of a shocker. I'm trying to remember the last time I lost a Doomstalker in a game, and I really, really can't. Ugh. So for the charge phase, we're going to put the Plague Marines and the Iron Warriors into the Spider. And maybe the Legionnaires can kill off these 2 remaining scarabs this turn. Maybe. We'll see. That was super ridiculous. Alright, the Iron Warriors did not make their charge. The Plague Marines did. Yeah, they survived Overwatch and they just killed off the spider. There's a lot of overkill, in fact. So the Aspiring Champion with his chain axe actually killed one of these scarabs by himself. And then the other 4 guys managed to kill off the other one. I'm shaking my head, but you can't see it. That was just crazy. Alright, well there's no more of the Canoptic Defense Force to fight against these guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and chalk this one up as a win for them, since there's nothing to oppose them from making it to here. So Chaos wins, and they advance a little further in. I have a semi-detailed floor plan for a good portion of the interior. I just gotta figure out how to make terrain work for the various rooms and setups I have planned. If you made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. This particular series of videos is going to be a learning experience for both of us. Well, it'll be a learning experience for me as to how to make new terrain or stage areas that might be a Tomb World interior kind of thing. The research that I've done on it hasn't yielded a whole lot of anything, so if you guys know anything about what the interior of a Tomb World looks like, I would appreciate any sharing. Or if you guys know any resources like, I don't know, some PDFs or anything like that, that'd be cool. Again, if you made it to the end of the video, I do greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day.